Hi, it's Harry. I thought I'd wait a little bit until we heard from the president of the U.S. with respect to tariffs before I gave my end of March vlog on where we are in a Calgary market. Basically, the tariffs have become a bit of a non-event for Canada in the sense that they've decided to follow the USMCA, with the exception, obviously, of steel and lumber and auto, which means the impact to Calgary and Alberta is very small. Uh, Obviously, they do impact the energy products at 10%, but that's not significant in my mind with regard to Alberta and Calgary in general. And there might be some downward pressure, but nothing significant, really. 10% is within the realm of variation in our oil price overall. So I don't think that's going to be material to the Calgary price. But all this uncertainty has kept the buyers on the market for the most part. And the new numbers for March overall, we can see we're down about 19% at 2159 sales in total. Recognize this is 20% below the 5-year average as well. So we're down for sure. So that tells you that this tariff business uncertainty has been negative on the market, but we're still in a seller's market with 2.4 months of supply. Prices have jumped because those who could afford to buy have basically made a decision to buy, and we've seen a price movement upward of roughly about 5% over last year's average of about 608. We're at 640 right now, just a touch under, and that's if you look at February, we're at 613. So we're up 5 on last year's price, or maybe 4 on February. So nothing significant, but the market has moved. I warn people that when the market moves, you're always behind the 8 ball. I don't think we'll see further upward pressure because there's still so much uncertainty in the market. We haven't seen inflationary effects come through on the market yet, or negative effects on our on unemployment and hiring yet. But that remains to be seen. So I think that'll put a bit of a lid on our market, or top on our market. But I don't think that we're going to have an issue where we're going to have a crash in our market. We might have a mild recession, if anything. And we've heard from the governor of the Bank of Canada saying that indications that the next April meeting he'll put a pause on any interest rate decreases until he sees more effects. So that's where we're at. And if you look at a detached market, where we're at about 840. Again, supply is somewhat muted at 2205. We're still 2.1 months of supply. So literally the market has moved 5% overall. The apartment market is still balanced, in a balanced state, and basically that price point hasn't moved. That's the only category in our residential stuff in Calgary that hasn't moved in the sense of pricing. So that kind of gives you an idea. If you haven't bought already, you're gonna see a 5% uptick from where you were thinking of pre-January, if even pre-February to some extent. So that's where we're at. Hopefully this gives you a feel of where we're at. I'll show you a curve so you get a piece. You can see that big uptick, not big, but 5% uptick on overall pricing for the overall market. And now here is the detached market. So you can see that also has moved upward to that 840 range. You can see it going up here to 840. So it's moved around, but nothing too significant. And towards the summer, I'll see it back off again. So overall, I suspect the prices will not increase. They'll be more in line with inflation. We won't, or maybe slightly negative, which means it'll hold flat. I don't see a marked reduction headed Calgary's way. That may not be in Toronto or Vancouver, where some of these tariff effects could be quite severe. I mean, the auto pack is going to get hit quite severely at 25%, and we see similar effects in Vancouver or BC with regard to the lumber. The concern I have a little bit with Alberta is obviously not only do we have issues with China, the U.S. Now we have issues with China with regard to canola, so that could be depressing somewhat to our economy in Alberta. So overall, 0 to 5 is where I'm at, where I was at 0 before, because it sounds like the U.S. have put major tariffs or retaliatory tariffs on hold for U.S. and Mexico. Sorry, for Canada and Mexico. Good news there. But the Chinese have acted up on us, so half a dozen one, half a dozen the other. I think we're somewhere between 0 and 5. And Lurie's initial view, without bringing in a lot of these other effects and this up and down yo-yo, might stand the test of time at 5% increase to last year. I think that would be a high number with regard to increase in pricing. I think we're probably in between the 0 and 5. Funny how we're in between my more pessimistic view and her more optimistic view. So that's where we're at. Hopefully this gives you a feel. I would suggest if you're a buyer, let's go out and buy some stuff. If you're a seller, you can sell too, because I don't foresee our market moving significantly up or down. So a good trading range for buyers and sellers. Hopefully this helps. Bye now.